And we have got some unfinished business in the novice saddle bronc riding competition. The top 3 novice saddle bronc riders competing here at CFR 51, right alongside the greatest saddle bronc riders of Canada. And it looks like Colin Larson, who received that re-ride option earlier on, the McCrory Saskatchewan Cowboy, is inside of the buck and shoot for the second time tonight.
Well, I'll tell you something. Alberta Moon from the Bull Firm isn't a bad one to have as a re-ride horse. That horse is all about the money. Watch this. Colin Larson, you and I both are very high on it, and oh my goodness, that I did not see coming. Colin Larson has not done that a lot in 2025. And Alberta Moon, that's a horse that can take you to the pay window, but it just felt like he was never ready.
No, that was a bit surprising right there. I wouldn't have put my money on him bucking off. So he's going to receive a no score as we look to the saddle bronc riding Canadian standing. Zeke Thurston, after that go-around win, extends his lead over the rest of the field. He is now at $70,000 towards a Canadian title. Nick Patterson right behind him. And of course, Nick's got that matchup with Virgil tonight.
Well, and there's Zeke. You know, the road to a Canadian championship in the bronc riding runs through Big Valley, Alberta, that's for sure. And that Cowboy is sitting atop the standings where he usually is. But Dawson Dahm had himself a pretty good 2025.
Yeah, he did. Dawson Dahm returns to the Canadian Finals Rodeo in 2025, missing maybe 1 year in between qualifications. The Tomahawk Alberta Cowboy inside of the buck and shoot matched up with the 8-year-old bucking horse from the Calgary Stampede Ranch in Exotic Warrior. They were 92.25 points of the Ponoka Stampede. That was Damian Brennan, and tonight Dawson Dahm makes the buzzer on the Calgary Stampede bucking horse.
Oh, we're going to look at this again. I loved it. Look at this horse. You talk about jump and kick out behind, up over your head. Every single jump, the horse was sensational. Dawson Dahm did not miss a lick, not even when they came to the fence. Perfect circle around. I think this could be a really good score for Dawson Dahm, and it is. 83 points for the Cowboy.
Yeah, 83 points for Dawson Dahm. An Exotic Warrior, the first Cowboy and bucking horse out of the bucking shoots here in round number 2, and I've been excited for this matchup, Dave.
Well, Lucas Matza, he's got another Calgary Stampede horse. Crockett, just a really cool horse.
He's a very cool horse, and I had a front row seat at our bronc match in Weyburn, Saskatchewan. In the championship round, Crockett from the Calgary Stampede matched up with Sage Newman, who ultimately got the win at the bronc match. They were 89.5 points. Lucas Matza going to work. Come on, Lucas. This is a Weyburn, Saskatchewan matchup right here. The Calgary Stampede bucking horse gets the chin of Lucas Matza at the end of that ride. He is finding our pickup man, Tyler Thompson and Tyler Kraft right now. He wants off the back of that powerhouse that they call Crockett.
Well, I'll tell you, though, for 8 seconds, it was pretty doggone good right there. Horse outstanding. Lucas Matza just doing Lucas Matza stuff. He is so darn consistent. Let's see what the judges thought right here. We've seen a couple of great bronc rides already. Can he be higher than 83? And the score of Dawson Dahm, I got a feeling we just might see a new leader right here. And we do at 86.75 points. Lucas Matza.
I think it's going to be a first payday for Lucas Matza this week. That is long overdue. A Cowboy who was challenging for a Canadian title comes in about 10th this year. And now I love this matchup on paper as we go to the next bronc rider in the chute.
Well, Logan Hay, Wildwood, Alberta, and the Matza bucking horse we call Squash Blossom Steely Dan. Love the name, love the horse.
Yeah, from Lucas Matza to Matza Pro Rodeo bucking horse and Squash Blossom Steely Dan. And this is a rematch from just a week or two ago at the Rough Rider Cup in Mandan, North Dakota. Logan Hay would make the 8-second buzzer. It was an 88-point score that time around. Let's see what it's going to be here in round number 2 at CFR 51 as Logan Hay and Squash Blossom Steely Dan right up there in the right-hand corner. On the left-hand delivery, the front buck and shoot is where he is looking to get things done.
Well, and we talk about Logan Hay, and of course that record, 95.5 points. That's the all-time highest marked bronc ride in bronc riding history, and he's the holder of that record, and let's watch it now.
Well, you can see Roddy Hay on the back of the buck shoots. He is keeping a close eye on this ride, and they were 88 2 weeks ago. What's it going to be tonight? Great ride for Logan Hay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Texas dismount didn't quite work, but he doesn't care. I'll tell you one thing, that was an outstanding bucking horse ride by a great rider and a great horse. They combined, I think, for a whole bunch of points.
Yeah, that is a fired-up Wildwood Alberta cowboy, Logan Hay, with a monster ride. Fantastic mark out, and look at this. Up to the front end, every single jump, hanging in the air, showing off in front of this crowd. 88 1/4 points for Logan Hay.
You know, the best thing about this, we're not done yet. We're only 3 or 4 riders in, and we could see some more scores right up there challenging that mark. But, boy, Logan Hay. And one of those challenges could happen right here. There's the leaderboard. Logan Hay, 88 1/4, 86.75 for Lucas Matza. But look out, because here comes Ben Anderson on Northcott Ewell's Mary Lou. A match made in heaven.
As we take a look at it, Ben Anderson inside of that buck and shoot, matched up with Mary Lou, and this was the 2024 Canadian Finals Rodeo bucking horse right here. The horse of the Canadian Finals Rodeo from a year ago inside, and Ben Anderson. This is a great matchup, just qualifying to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo a week ago at the culmination of the Governor's Cup. Ben Anderson is having himself a time in round number 2.
I don't know. I can't say anything. That was just so good. Was it enough? Who knows? I wouldn't want to have to judge this event on this night because I'd have them all at 95. These are great, great Bronc
Well,
rides.
you can guarantee that Mel Highland is watching from the edge of his seat, watching Ben Anderson, and Tom Bingham watching that bucking horse. He raised that bucking horse, sold him to Northcott Ewell, and today the scores come in for Ben Anderson.
Well, just a half a point out of the lead, 87.75 for Ben Anderson, right behind Logan Hay. Good friends are sitting first and second in the Bronc riding. So Sawyer Eirikson coming off a night that he would like to forget real quickly. Well, he can't, because this could be a memorable ride for him. He's got Dandy Delight from the Calgary Stampede. Yeah, you get on this horse, it's show me the money.
Well, isn't it? And this horse, I want to say, sometimes flies under the radar, but he's the real deal. He's got a couple of moves out there about the midpoint of this ride. He's got a couple tricks up his sleeve, but if you make the whistle, like you said, Dave, it is show me the money. And Sawyer Eirikson, he has had an incredible season so far as well. 28,000 to his credit, ranked number 8 in Canada. He wants a shot at that title come championship Saturday night. Sawyer nodding his head, and boy, that roan bucking horse, you can see those moves right there. Little twist, little turn, and Sawyer gets loose at the end of the ride. It looks like our officials down on the arena floor are waving some flags.
Well, we'll take another look at it and see what exactly happened at the end of that ride, because it was going pretty well up until then. Not really able to get the good spur lick going early on, but now he's kind of tapped off, but you can see right there trouble. Second, the free hand comes down, and it's disqualification, it looks like. No score. Doggone it, he's 0 for 2. Well, I mean, it has been so darn good. And I love this horse from C5, Shattered Lunatic. And Tyrell Roberts, you know, you talk about guys flying under the radar, and you and I have talked about a number of cowboys that fit that category. Tyrell Roberts would be one of them. He's a very quiet-spoken guy, doesn't make a whole lot of noise, and maybe doesn't get the headlines, but he rides bucking horses pretty darn good.
Yes, he does. And Tyler Roberts is looking to make the move from a good saddle bronc rider to a great saddle bronc rider. And I think it's inevitable that someday we watch him amongst the top 15 in the world. He is as wild and western as it gets when he nods his head, and this is a great matchup. Shattered Lunatic, over the last few years, has matured as a bucking horse as well, and been featured in championship rounds and in big moments at big rodeos across North America. C5 Rodeo Company awfully proud of this bucking horse, just as much as they are Virgil. They love Shattered Lunatic as well. This is a great draw for Tyrell Roberts.
Yes, it is. Let's see if he can challenge that 88.25. Logan Hay sitting atop the leaderboard at this point in time. That could change over the remaining 5 or 6 Bronc riders that we're about to see. Just kind of trying to get him to not lean on that gate and lean on Tyrell's legs, so they'll just move him over a little bit. See if Shattered Lunatic will give that guy a chance to get out and make a good ride. See, that's what I'm talking about. He's just calm, cool, collected, says, yeah, I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah, Tyrell's as cowboy as he gets right there. He says, you know what? He's not going to not lean on me. I'm just going to go ahead with it right here. And what a Bronc ride Tyrell Roberts just made on Shattered Lunatic. That horse is extremely tall. Our camera angles don't quite show it right here, but live in front of this crowd, he's extremely tall, long, and he gets in the air. Shattered Lunatic is a handful for any cowboy. Tyrell Roberts just slayed a dragon.
Sure enough did. Really good ride. Let's see what the officials thought, where we'll put him. Got to be up in the 80s somewhere if you want to get a check out of this round. That's almost a guarantee. Maybe mid-80s is what it's going to take. And it looks like the scores are coming in. They're going to be pretty darn good for him. And they are. How about 84.5 for Tyrell Roberts to 4th place overall?
It's going to bump Dawson Dom to the number 5 position right now as Logan Hay still on top of things with an 88.25 point score.
Well, we're looking now at Leighton Green and yesterday's delivery, the 2017 Canadian champion and a great Calgary Stampede veteran bucking horse, and one that, this is another one of those graded coconut zippy delivery combinations, and they are good.
Yeah, this horse just walks the line from eliminator to the TV pen at every finals rodeo, and Leighton Green, a world-class saddle bronc rider on a world-class bucking horse. That was a great ride again here tonight.
We've said that a lot. We really have, Robert.
You know, I was talking to Clay Creasy, kind of our insider in the saddle bronc riding. He just loves these bucking horses so much, and he talks about this Raro, a big Raro, and maybe not as big a Raro as we've seen from the bucking horse in yesterday's delivery in times past. But nonetheless,
but watch the feet. Watch the feet. Yes, they are back,
and it looks like they called him for the mark-over.
He did miss the horse out. That's the thing about that rare, and he's kind of talking it over with the officials. But that was a very good camera look, and yes, he missed him out. Now, wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
Late breaking news.
Yes, late breaking news, and good news at that. Looks like they pre-rolled him, and he's going to check in at 86.5 for Leighton Green. That is good news. It's going to put him in 4th place overall. Takes us to Cole Ashbacker, Arrowwood, Alberta, Volz Renegade, for a cowboy who has twice been the runner-up for a Canadian championship.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup on paper, as so many of them are tonight. We talked about it in our feature leading up to the saddle bronc riding tonight. Cole Ashbacker, the Arrowwood, Alberta cowboy, his dad, the stock contractor for the junior steer riders, matched up with Renegade from Bold Rodeo Limited. They won a round on this bucking horse from 1 year ago. He takes a lot of rein. He's got a big kick and a lot of hang time. This should fit Cole Ashbacker very, very well, as he just rides so correct. Look at this. That is what they call a classic saddle bronc ride from Cole Ashbacker.
Well, he's a long, tall cowboy, and I really love watching him. He maybe... you see the little guys on the backs of these horses, and it looks stylish and it looks exciting, but that is so correct, so perfect, so technically sound. That's Cole Ashbacker.
Yeah, the gray horse from Bold Rodeo that came from Frank Wiskowski matched up with Cole Ashbacker tonight, and the scores are coming in. It's a tough round of competition. Where are we going to put him in the mix? It looks like number 5 at 84 3/4.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about that? 84.75 going to win you a bunch of rodeos. Here, you're in 5th place with a couple of wolves still to come, including this guy, Colby Wanchuk, and a horse that we've celebrated so many times at the Canadian Finals Rodeo. He's a great, great horse. Tokyo Bubble from the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, and in the words of his dad, Ricky Tiki Wanchuk, he has got to be happy with this matchup in Tokyo Bubbles. Colby Wanchuk matched up with last year's bucking horse of the year in the saddle bronc riding competition. This could be lights out. And this is a rematch. I love this matchup because it's a rematch from about 5 or 6 years ago at the San Antonio Rodeo. They were 90-plus points then. A couple of weeks later on New Year's Eve, or I guess not a couple of weeks later, but a few months later on New Year's Eve, they would rematch again for the win in Brooks, Alberta. And now we get to watch Tokyo Bubbles, Colby Wanchuk at the Canadian Finals Rodeo in 2025. And it is another picture-perfect saddle bronc ride for Mr. Wanchuk.
Well, you know, you talked yesterday about the fact that he grew up in the clown family with Ricky Ticky Wanchuk assisting him with his acts out there, and all kinds of colored chickens and bunnies and all kinds of stuff. And somewhere out of that came a Bronc rider, and a darn good one.
Well, that was easy compared to hanging onto the back of a fire truck going around and around the arena. Colby Wanchuk, Tokyo Bubbles, the scores come in, Dave, and we're going to put him in the mix about the middle of the pack.
So Colby Wanchuk at 85 points. Yeah, he sits 5th overall. Again, a tremendous score, but only 5th best in this tremendous round that we're watching here in round number 2 at CFR.
Just a couple of superstars left inside of the buck and shoots, all on the left-hand delivery here in round number 2. And let's start it out with the hottest man in the world right now.
Q Taylor, I tell you what, you know, I talked to some people yesterday and everybody said this man is the real deal. Such a great spur ride, such a stylish rider. I think this is a guy who we are going to hear a whole lot about this week and beyond.
Well, you can check out all the news on CanadianProfessionalRodeo.com, RodeoCanada.com, and Clay Creasy mentioned it in his lead up to round number 2. This is a rematch where Quentin Taylor, Flying Karma, they did the dance to 90.5 points one time previously. Wyatt Casper was 90.5 as well at the Canadian Finals Rodeo last year. And tonight, Q Taylor, boy, Flying Karma is bringing it. She says, I see that 88.25 on top of the leaderboard, and I'm going to try to get you a 90.
Well, we got to watch that again. Q Taylor is a guy that we've been bragging on, and he has been so good of late. Look at that spur leg. Look at that right there. You talk about, even in the spin, getting to that front part of the neck and bringing it back to the cantle of the saddle. Every single jump, wow.
Well, we will see how close Flying Karma got to the fence right as the whistle blew. We'll see if that'll be a factor. Dave, it's not.
How about 89.5 points? Q Taylor is on cue, and he's in the lead. Wow.
I'm clapping along with the crowd here inside Rogers Place. I'm so happy for that cowboy. He is just so cool.
Well, we're not done. We're not done, because this is the moment we talked about. This is the moment we set up earlier. Nicholas Patterson, coming off the best year of his career, has matched up with CF13 Virgil. Now watch this, because you know, we talked about there's only a half a dozen horses in the world that have won the world championship in both bareback riding and saddlebrock riding. One of them is that horse right there with that cowboy, Nicholas Patterson, aboard.
They hold the world bareback riding record on the back of this horse. They hold the Canadian bareback riding record on the back of this horse. And this is a rematch from the Ponoka Stampede. Nick Patterson, he conquers the Ultimate Warrior in Virgil again tonight at CFR 51.
Well, we're going to throw it to the officials to make the decision. And Nicholas Patterson, I thought, did an awfully good job on a great horse that you make a mistake, he doesn't mind putting you on the ground. But Nicholas Patterson was all there, as, of course, was Virgil, as Virgil is every single time out. And we're going to put Nicholas Patterson in second place overall, 88.75, just 3/4 of a point behind our leader, Q Taylor. Nicholas Patterson, very, very good. Oh, man. This has been... Can we just do this all again? I'll tell you, this has been some kind of fun, hasn't it?
Well, we can, and as they say, then there was one.
Well, and that one just happens to be the guy who is a 5-time Canadian champion. 5 in a row, by the way, that's a record. 4-time world champion. Yeah, Zeke Thurston, the superstar from Big Valley, Alberta, Canada, climbing over the back of the chutes and getting ready on the Calgary Stampede's Hotel Acres.
And this is an interesting matchup. They say that all Canadian titles run through Big Valley, Alberta, and the title holder, Zeke Thurston. The teacher of the master class in saddle bronc riding matched up with a young bucking horse, the youngest of all the bucking horses in this go-around of competition. This is just a 5-year-old from the Calgary Stampede Ranch, a 2020 baby, a mare by G65. Zeke Thurston and the future of the bronc riding superstars from the Calgary Stampede. This is a big-time bronc ride.
That is a big-time bronc ride, and you know, that 5-year-old right there, I've seen Zeke Thurston get on these young horses before, and they don't bother him at all. They seem to just shine with that man on their back, and Zeke Thurston was equal to the test here tonight once again. Great horse, great bucking horse rider. I think we're going to see another big number.
Yes, Zeke Thurston and Hotel Acres, they are checking in here in round number 2, 88 3/4 points.
So he ties for second with Nicholas Patterson, who rode Virgil, but once again, Q Taylor showing what he's all about. And Zeke Thurston closing in on title number 6 in a row here in Canada, but what a great, great section of bronc riding that was.
Well, an exceptional night of saddle bronc riding is what that was, and the hottest man in Canada, the hottest man in the entire world, qualifying for his very first Wrangler National Finals rodeo, Q